Okay, hi there, Dr. Matthew J. Trom here. The point of this video is to walk you through the process to download Ansys and install it on your personal computers. Ansys is a finite element analysis FEA software package that allows you to do some pretty sophisticated multi-physics simulation and modeling of engineering systems. You will need Ansys to do at least a few of the homework assignments in the Mech 2 class, and you'll also probably want to use FEA, Ansys FEA, to do some simulation analysis for the final project in the course. The first step is to get the pieces that you need together. So you need two things to move this process forward. The first is a license. Here's the license information. I will send you the current license information through Canvas, so you'll be able to access it if, for example, the version of the software or something like that changes. We'll update it and send it to you through Canvas so that you'll have it. The other thing that you need is the access to the SharePoint folder that contains the ISO files with the Ansys executable and data in them. This will be shared again through Canvas and through email. You guys will get a link. You'll connect to the link, and that will get you to the SharePoint file, SharePoint folder. Okay, so the first step is to download from SharePoint to your local computer, and I'm just going to hover over each of these, and I'm going to right-click on them, and I'm going to hit download. So here comes the first one. I'm going to hover over this one, and I'm going to hit download for the second one. And I'm going to hover over this one, right-click, and hit download. There we go, for the third one. So now I've got all three of those Ansys ISO files downloading. Notice they are relatively big, just about 15 gigabytes for all three of them, so large files. And it does take a little while to download them. So I'm going to pause the video here. And we will pick it up again once I've got these on my computer so I can show you guys the next step. Okay, stand by, and I will see you in just a second. Okay. For you, it's been a couple of seconds. For me, it's been about 15 minutes of download time. Happily, I have the Ansys ISO files here, so I'm going to just grab them out of my downloads folder and put them on the desktop so that I can work on them. Okay, so I've got them here, and I've got to make sure that they are in order. Two, three. I'm going to just change the name on this one because it got double named. There we go. And one. Okay, so what I'm looking at, let me put them in the order. So what I'm looking at is the last number here, right? So it's Ansys 2002 R2 WinX64 disk 1, right? And then this one is disk 2, and then this one is disk 3. So just for my own kind of keeping track of what's going on, I've now got them in the order that I'm going to mount them onto my computer here. So I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to click Mount. Okay, so I've got the first one mounted, and then I'm going to right-click Mount for the second one, and I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to mount for the third one. Okay, so now all three of those drives are mounted, and I've got to be careful. I want to make sure that I open them in order. So this is the first one that I mounted. This should be number 1. So I'm going to not collapse, but how about open in a new window? We'll see how that, nope. What if I double click? I know what I need to do. I've got them mounted, and what I need to do now is I need to find an executable. So again, I'm going into number one here. There it is. Okay, so this is number one, the first one that I mounted, which is the E drive, and I'm looking for setup.execute. That's what I need to do. And I'm just going to triple check, right? So there's no setup.execute in 2, and there's no setup.execute in 3. Okay, so good. So this is 1, and I'm going to double click at the setup.execute, the executable down at the bottom, and I'm going to be asked if Ansys can make changes. Yes. And that initiates, here we go, the installation process. Okay, so I would like to obviously have English be my language. And let's see, install Ansys products, install MPI for Ansys, install Ansys license manager. I would like to install Ansys products. So I'm going to click on that. By the way, I was told that I kind of need to close everything else out while I'm doing this. So I no longer need the ISO files sitting in the SharePoint folder. So I'm just going to close that out. Uh-oh, file still downloading. You might lose it if you close your browser. I'm confident that I've downloaded all 3 of these. This must be from a previous download attempt. So I'm going to close my browser. All right. I have to agree to the licensing agreement, so we'll read through it. Obviously, don't agree to anything that you're not comfortable agreeing to. Get to the end of the agreement, hit agree, and next. Okay, we're being asked if we want to associate file extensions with Ansys products. It's usually easier to do that, so we'll click next, and also where do I want this thing to be installed. The installation directory, I want it in C and program files and Ansys Inc. That's the default. So if you want something else, you can browse to find that other location, but I'll use the default, so we'll hit next. Okay, so now here is where I need this other piece of information, which is the license. So I'm going to open up the license image. There it is. And what I need to do is copy the words here into the host name. So just verify that the numbers are correct. 2325 1055. Yep. Okay. And now I'm gonna copy the host name, which is Ansys ANSYS.MAE.UFL.edu. This is the teaching license server in the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department here at UF. I want the one server configuration, and let's hit next. Okay, and select products to install. So this is pretty cool. I'm just gonna select everything, and as you can see, the installation size that we're talking about is about 46 gigabytes. So I've literally got now the whole thing, all of the plugins and everything all selected so that it'll install 46 gigabytes. So let's hit next. You've selected CAD geometry interfaces. Would you also like to configure them? Yes, I will manually make my selections. Next. Okay, they're asking, please select the CAD interfaces you would like to configure. We selected a few CADs based on available licenses. Okay, so depending on what you guys use, for example, SolidWorks is something that we use here at UF, but a lot of these others I don't recognize as being part of UF. Just for completeness, I'm going to select all of them. But I suspect SolidWorks is really the only one that you need. We'll hit next. Okay, please select the type of configuration you would like. It looks like the default is the top radio button for all of those, so I'm going to hit next. Okay, please review the settings below. Okay, seems reasonable. So let's hit next. Okay, And we are now going to go through the Ansys installation process, which again is going to take me an awful long time. So we'll pause the video here and let this do its installation. And when the next decision point comes up, I will unpause and we will go from there. So I'll see you in what for you is just a moment. All right. Okay. So for you, this was a second or two. For me, it was about 5 minutes to get to this point, but we reached a decision point here, and a data point. And so remember, again, there's 3 ISO files. And so when we get to about a third of the way through, about 31% of the install, Ansys is finished with ISO 1 and needs to switch to ISO 2. And we need to find ISO 2 for Ansys. And so remember, I did this in order so that 1 was E for me, 2 was F, and 3 was H. I'm not quite sure how that happened. There must be a USB plugged in somewhere. Anyway, so I need to now find the F drive, which is the second of the 3 installation disks. So path to next media. So we're going to browse and we're going to go to E and click on E and hit select folder. And then I'm going to hit OK. And aha, cool, looks like that worked. Okay, so the installation process continues. And I am going to, again, just put this thing on pause, let the installation process go, and I'll unpause and continue the video when the next decision point is reached in the installation. So, see you in a little bit. Okay, for you, a few seconds have passed. For me, again, about 5 or 6 minutes. We're now at about 2/3 of the way, a little bit further than that actually, through the installation, and we're at another kind of point where we need to give Ansys some input. And so what we've done now is we've gone through the ISO 1, the ISO 2, and now we have to tell Ansys where the ISO 3 is, the third and final install disk. And so remember, because of some weird snafu in, I guess the G drive was already taken up by a USB drive that I've got plugged in. My third ISO file or third ISO disk is associated with the H drive. So I'm going to navigate here to select folders, and I'm going to click on H. And then I'm going to hit select folder. And then I'm going to hit OK. And we'll give it a sec here to make sure that it picks up 85, 86. Okay, great. So that should be the third and final ISO install that we have to identify its location for Ansys. And I'm going to let's just install, do the same thing we did before, pause the video, wait for the installation to finish, and then we'll pick things back up to show you guys what the next step is when I've got the installation completed. So see you in for what for you will just be a second or two. All right. Okay. Wow. For you guys, it was a second or two. For me, it was about 5 or 6 minutes. But it finished. One thing that I did, I forgot to unpause the video. When the installation was done, I ended up hitting the next button, outside of the context of the video. So when you guys are done, make sure that you hit the next button, and then you get to this final screen here. I don't know that you want to take the survey upon exiting. I clicked no, and I'm going to hit, let's see, installation completed with warnings, review any airlog files, installation complete, please review, thanks for, okay. Okay, so I'm going to hit exit. And what that should mean is that I now have a copy of Ansys installed on my machine. So from here, we can start using it. All right. The other thing that you might want to do at this point is go on and unmount these 3 ISO disks. So I'm going to right click here on ISO 3, and I'm going to hit eject, and I'm going to right click on ISO 2 and I'm going to hit eject. Whoops. And then I'm going to right click on ISO 1 and I'm going to hit eject. Okay, and that gets us back to just the Ansys page. And I've got those 3 ISO files here also on my desktop, so I want to copy those, not copy them, but select them and pull them off into the trash. And now my computer is clean of all the Ansys install files, and I am ready to begin using Ansys. Okay, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So thanks for your attention, and see you in class. Bye.